Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing us how to make this baggy trousers. So first things first, we need to get all our measurements ready to go, and measurements we need is waist circumference, so that's the distance around the smallest part of your waist or where the trouser is going to be sitting on. The next thing we need is our hips circumference, and then we need our waist to hips and waist to crotch measurement. To get your waist to crotch measurement, you would sit on a chair and measure from where the trouser is going to be sitting on, so your waist to the top of the chair. So after getting your waist to crotch measurement, you would get your trouser length. So this is how long you want the trouser to be. For mine, I'm making it 35 inches and I'm going to be adding 2-inch sewing allowance. Okay, so now that we've gotten all our measurements, we're going to now start taking our vertical measurement on the fabric. So first things first, we're going to draw a starting line on the top of the fabric, and I'm going to be going down 1.5 inch from the top. So this 1.5 inch is going to be our waistline, and the reason why I'm going down 1.5 inches is because there's going to be an elastic waistband that's going to be attached to this trouser, and I'm going to be using a 1-inch elastic. So that's the reason why I'm taking it down 1.5 inches. Now from the 1.5 inch line, which is our starting line, we're going to be going down 9 inches, which is going to be our hip line. So from our waist to our hips, as we've already done, that is a 9 inches. And then from the waist to the crotch depth, that is 12 inches. Now because this is a baggy trouser, I'm adding a 0.75 inch allowance. So we're going to be doing that, taking it down 12.75 inches because this is a baggy trouser. So after that is done, we're going to be doing the length of the trouser. Again, from the starting line, I'm going to be going down 35 inches for the actual length of this trouser, and then I'm adding 2 inches sewing allowance or folding allowance. The reason why I'm making it 35 inches and not a full length trouser is I just wanted a 3/4 trouser. So I'm just going to be doing it 35 inches, mark it as you can see me doing on the screen. So after the vertical measurements are all complete now, I'm going to start going in on the horizontal measurements. So on my hip line, I'm going to be marking my hips divided by 4, which is 11, plus 2.5 inches. If you want the trousers to be free, you can add more, 3, 4, 5, depending on how wide you want the trouser to be free. If you want it to be slightly fitted, you can add 1 inch or 1.5 inches, but in my case I'm going to be adding 2.5 inches. So altogether that's going to be 13.5 inches. This measurement we're going to be doing it now is the crotch extension. So to get our crotch extension, we'll do hip divided by 16, which is kind of like a standard when you're doing crotch line or crotch extensions. So you take your hip measurements, mine is 44 divided by 16, which is 2.75, and I'm going to be marking this line on the crotch line that we made, and then I'll join all the lines together. And then on that square line, I'm going to be going up by 1 inch, a diagonal line 1 inch, just so I can get that curve to sit nicely. And then I'm going to connect all those lines together, as you can see me doing. Then I'm going to measure the full length of the crotch line. So from where I drew the crotch line, that whole length is what I'm going to be using for the rest of the trouser. So I'm just going to transfer that length without adding or removing anything, because this is a straight baggy trouser. I'm going to also put that at the bottom of the trouser, as you can see me doing. After transferring the measurements to the trouser length, I'm going to start cutting out the front piece. Now after the front piece is done, I'm going to put the front piece onto the back piece, I'm also just double checking that there's enough fabric to measure the back piece. Now the difference between the front and the back is the waistline on the back is going to be going up by 1 inch to form the back line, and also the crotch for the back is going to be +1 of your front piece measurement. So my front piece was 2.75, so +1 inch is going to be 3.75. So after marking the 3.75 on the crotch line is going to be 3.75. Everywhere else gets a 2 inches. After that is done, I'm going to join all the lines together, and then the line from the bottom to the crotch area, I'm just going to slightly curve that, as you can see me doing on the screen now, just so it smoothens or evens out nicely. So after all that is done, I'm going to be doing the back rise. So you know how I said there's going to be an additional 1 inch on the waist at the back. I'm going to add 1 inch on going up, and then I'm going to join that line, the new 1 inch line, to the side back. So the center back is going to have an additional 1 inch up, and then this line is the new waistline. So after connecting the lines together, I'm going to cut out the back piece. So now the back piece is cut out, I'm going to cut pockets for this trouser, because I mean, why am I making trousers if there's no pockets? So I've cut that piece out. I'll take that piece, I'll put it at the top of the trouser, and then measure it down 7 inches. So from the waistband area to 7 inches, I'm going to measure it down. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and let's start sewing it. Okay, so now the sewing is done. I've joined the 2 front pieces at the crotch line. I've joined the 2 back pieces at the crotch line. I've joined all 4 pockets to the side of the trouser. And then the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be sewing the trouser from that top, as you can see me showing on the line. So all the pockets, like so the sides of the pockets, so the side of the trouser, making sure that the lines line up. Because the bottom of this trouser has got a border, I want it to line up nicely, just so it has a professional finish to it. I'm also going to be doing the same thing on the other side of the trouser, lining up the borderline, and then the crotch area I'm going to line up, pin it as I'm currently doing on the screen. I'm going to line up the crotch area, the stitch on the crotch area, and then I'll pin that in place, and then I'm going to be sewing that area, lining up the border of the fabric as well. So after that has been sewn, I'll just come back and show you how it looks like. Okay, so that has been sewn now, and I also attached the pockets to the front waistline, as you can see on the screen. And then the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to measure the circumference around all of this fabric. I'm going to measure all the way around. It's New Year's Day, so there's a lot of knockouts and people throwing fireworks. So if you hear all the banging that is happening, that's what it is. Like, it's really loud, and I needed to record this video today or do this voiceover today, hence the extra noise. Okay, so I'll measure around the waistline, and after I finish measuring around the waistline, I'm going to cut the waistband to be as long as the waistline, and then the width I'm going to be using is going to be 4 inches. So I'm going to be folding them in 1 inch on each side, and then the elastic band I'm using is a 1 inch elastic band. I'll join that together, I'll join that to the fabric as well, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I've sewn the waistband piece to the trouser, right side facing, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold it, like hem that waistband nicely. So as you can see me folding it 1 inch, and then I'm going to be holding it on with an office pin. I'm also showing that the elastic is 1 inch wide elastic, and just measuring it across to see that is okay enough to fit into the trouser nicely. So when all that is done, I'm going to fold the waistband piece in nicely all the way around, and then leave 2 inches space, just so the elastic band will be able to come out, and I'm going to be able to nicely finish this. Okay, so that has been sewn down now, and I'm going to start passing the elastic using a safety pin through the hole I left on the trouser. I'll pass that all the way around, and then I would sew the elastic band in place, so overlapping itself, sewn, and it's not fit and it's not going anywhere. So I'm just going to sew that down in place, overlapping itself, a few stitches back and forth, and then I'm going to be closing that opening that I left, and that is this trouser pretty much sorted. This is a beginner friendly tutorial. If you try to do this trouser, let me know what you think about it, and if it was easy to follow process. And the last thing I'm going to be doing is also hem the trouser, and that's it pretty much. Hopefully you enjoyed the content of the video. If you did, remember to like, subscribe, click on the bell icon so when I post any upcoming videos you get notified. If you've got any questions, leave that in the comment section and I'll be doing my best to answer. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.